I got my producer Dugan Nash here. You want to say hi, Dugan? Or you want
Yeah.
to sit and shy?
Yeah, what's up?
Hello. Hey, what's up, Philip? I
Yeah,
like your
guys.
work, I'll say that much. Yeah.
He's gonna help me work the camera so I can show you the video without messing up.
Yeah, you're doing pretty good. In fact, I've seen a couple of your sane, comedy stuff.
Oh, don't watch the comedy; it's terrible.
No, I mean, you can do it. Actually, you have to maybe write more different content and practice it, but you can
Yeah.
actually do it because you have a serious charisma, what we call it.
They say many tragedies are enacted in the name of love, and tonight's performance will be no different. I love the planet Earth. It's my favorite planet. It's where I live. It's beautiful. I could just picture it and hold it in my hand right now, but I wonder, does it have to be round? Tires. Tires have to be round. That makes sense. They wouldn't work any other way. But in the end, they all go flat. There's no way around it. Hey, you know the Earth spins at 1,000 miles an hour? Yes, it does. I didn't know it either. The faster it moves, the less you feel it. That's why on carnival rides, I get sick and throw up. It's just not moving fast enough. How about all those crazy orbiters they got out there in space, huh? Yeah, the ISS. They got that thing on cruise control, 17,000 miles an hour. No problem, been doing it for 18 years. My car is 18 years old, sounds like it's gonna explode when I do 50 down the highway. I guess I'm just not driving it fast enough. Yeah, you know the great thing about space is that amazing Wi-Fi they have out there. I wish I had it. I drive 10 miles out of the city, I'm screwed. I'd pay more for it. I'd be happy to pay double.
And what I've also learned about sewers is like sewers, the larger numbers of sewers that made of antique times. So people that are hanging around there, finding like all these different. Let me show you. Can you see it?
Yeah. What are you pointing out?
So it's like the sewers in ancient cities. Um, most of them have legends that they were buried and stuff. So it's like even some rivers go through the sewers, and they like saying that they were supposed to bury them to hide like different disease like malaria, so it's like a bunch of mosquitoes with this sickness and disease and so it's like people were burying the rivers and collecting them in those bricked stuff. And you know what I found out? That people actually walk around there. If they have a scratch or some cuts, they can even very bad one, they can actually speed up to recover while you're walking around the sewers because it has all those gases uh, with
Wait, are you
fecal gas.
saying the sewer has benefits?
Yeah, so it's like in Russia we have a legend when if you like jump in different types of water, you can even get younger. So it's like
Whoa.
five different lakes, and each and every lake probably has its different chemical solutions and stuff like this. So it's like chemical how do you call it? Mm, chemical list inside. So it's like very interesting. And I actually where I was living near the city of Tara, which is like similar to Tartaria. It has a river Tara and the city of Tara, not very big one, like 100,000 people. And so it has like this legend about five lakes there, and we actually found four of them, but nobody can find the fifth one. So it's like very interesting because each and every lake has its ecological system, its different colors, and one lake has a coffee color, another one has like coffee with milk, another one has like purely clear water, and you can even see the depth. and another one is like very very blue, like very blue. So it's like dark blue, very interesting. And we couldn't find the fifth one, and they say that people that can swim in all those five legs getting healthy and stuff like this. So I don't know.
Man, you know a lot. You know a lot, man. You're something else.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
Phil, I'm running short on time. Can we get to my videos?
yeah, if you want to show something, you can like press the green screen share icon on the left. Can you
Here, let
see
me
it?
get Dugan Nash over here.
What video are you trying to show?
Let's do downtown Cleveland real quick. Scoot over. All right. Hit this. It's going to be on here.
Okay.
You
And
can-
This one?
yeah. And we got to turn the volume down when it shows up.
You seen this?
Yep.
That's the courthouse. I don't think those are the original statues. Now, you see that bottom row? It goes deep. And I don't think those are the original doors either, because they got Indians on them. So this is a view of, I'm standing at street level and I'm looking down. There's a better shot coming up here in a second. And Philip, guess what do you think's underneath these bricks?
What do you mean underneath?
You think that's the real brick?
I think it's just a design. How do you call it? Clothing or something.
Okay, so here I'm going to stand in front of this door real quick. So I'm 6 foot.
It's like the
And now
stone. It's like the stonework that is covering the brickwork inside. So
it's
it's like,
brick. Oh, you know what? I think I edited it out. Darn it. There's a video I had where I looked down and it's red brick underneath that.
I can see the top floor probably has the larger windows, right?
Yeah, maybe. I tried to edit this so it would go quick. I think that's Bacchus because he's got fruit on his head. There's a church. I wasn't able to get inside that church, but there you go. It's the same story all over again. They got that circle, like that resonance pattern on it or something.
Supposed to have two towers. The second one was pretty much not built, right?
You talking about Terminal Tower? That's Terminal Tower right there. But there's photos of that being built. And I went inside there, and it does look somewhat modern. It looks like it's trying to recreate like the Tartarian style.
Yeah, it's like probably just like Stalin tried to do it in 50s.
But
Also,
you could tell it's just not the same. This is St. John the Apostle's church. You could skip this a little bit, go a few seconds ahead. That's good, that's good, that's probably good. And this to me was a joke. I really looked at a church with new eyes when I was in here. I'll show you what I mean in a second. Because I was raised Byzantine Catholic, so I'm used to all these icons, and this is a Roman Catholic. So I'm used to all this. But look, you got this huge, huge building, and they try to fill it up, but they can't. Look, they put that big, by the altar,
Point out with the mouse.
Oh,
Yeah, they can see the mouse.
or did you rewind it?
We want to go back.
Right there. Pause it right there. Pause it right there. And now I could use the mouse.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I'm talking about right here. They put this in here to fill up empty space, in my opinion, and they just couldn't do it. Yeah, I don't think this is original. I don't think this belongs in here, and it really felt out of place. Okay, go ahead. And
Yeah,
of
looks
course,
like
you hear in there. Go ahead.
looks like it. Looks like it. Does it have any hidden systems from the ancient days?
Not
How
that
did
I
they?
know. Where's the chimney? How'd they heat this up?
Yeah, I mean the volume is critical, so you
And
cannot
heat
get.
rises. Why would you build something so big? And if you did have a furnace, how you? It's got to have an enormous electric bill to heat this thing.
Yeah, just imagine how can you illuminate the inside of this without the electricity? How?
Oh, you're right. How would you illuminate it? You would have to have candles everywhere, and there's no candle holders,
Yep.
not like original.
And no, ceilings are fine. They would be black if you have candles.
You're right. The smoke would soot it up, and then you'd have to have somebody on a ladder cleaning it. You're right. It doesn't make any sense. It's just a big door there. That was on the side.
Probably they made it smaller
Brick I'm
to.
telling you about. This is pause that right there. That's what I'm talking. This is the Cleveland courthouse. Underneath those big doors that I stood next to. So I looked down there, and there's the red brick. So you mean they built this huge building on red brick first? These little tiny red bricks?
Yep, that's the way
Why
they
would
build
you?
it.
Yeah, why would you put the little bricks that's going to hold all the weight in the foundation? I don't know. Also, underneath Soldier Monument, there's a video I seen on the internet, and you go on the tour, you could do it. There's catacombs underneath there. And I asked the lady, I said, why you got tunnels underneath Soldier Monument? Oh, it's to hold it up. I said, that don't make any sense. Why you build a tunnel to hold something up? And they're red brick tunnels. Go ahead, keep playing. We're almost done with this one. Yeah, those are those doors. All right, go back to my file. We're going to hit the Soldier Monument real quick, because I'm sure some people want to see Soldier Monument. And Soldier Monument didn't do a thing for me, the folder. Soldier Monument. This is not good video. It's going to go quick, but I'll point out a few things here.
Take your time, man.
Thanks, Phil. Okay, so there's writing there, but I didn't get a good view of it.
What are you filming with?
On my Android phone.
Hmm.
I'm going to get a better camera one of these days.
Just get just a simple photograph. It'll be fine.
Instead of the video.
Yeah, because video is okay, but video you have to do it in action. All this stable is better to picture it with stable stuff.
Now, on the what we're pointing at here is, I didn't even notice this at the time, but these are religious symbols.
Yep.
Keep playing, and it says here 1865. If you want to believe that, that's the year it was built. But as I pan around, you'll see different religious symbols, and I didn't recognize a lot of them. Okay, so you got a couple crosses. Sure, that makes sense. But then we go over to this side, and Star of David, the Muslim symbol, star and a moon. And what were these? Like I said, I didn't really pay attention to it. But I mean, like, so you're the designer of this building. how do you justify those weird symbols? Why'd you put those there? This part I didn't really understand why they did that.
Yeah, just couldn't have recognized what was the last one, last three symbols.
Yeah, it wasn't familiar to me, but I bet you it's familiar to somebody. Okay, I'm about to go inside here. I'm inside and I'm looking at the stuff that's under the showcase. And that's the first thing that caught my eye, that creepy demon. Like, why they got that demon in there? Just newspaper articles. And I pan over here a little bit faster, but I'm gonna show, there's a picture under the case that has like a postcard of Soldier Monument from years ago. And so that's it right there. So I have like a screenshot of it. Keep playing. And these spoons are really well decorated. And what was the point of them being there? Yeah. Well, I guess you could see that pretty good. Now, why doesn't it look like that today? It doesn't look like that today. Why'd they change it?
Yeah, that's what they do.
That's what they do. There's the fascies. Of course, we got to have the fascies in there. Nobody can explain that. And they got the red and white pattern on the arches. You know, that's like always a reoccurring theme. And some pictures of some presidents of something up there. I don't think that's original.
Would be damn interesting to visit one of the archives in Cleveland or anywhere else to find out if they have any newspapers between 1840 and 1860.
I already called them up. The Cleveland Museum. I found all the right people, or the right department. Yeah, that's why I filmed that. That's my middle name, Hezekiah. That's why I got that there. This is they got all the names of everybody that died. Actually, I bought a Civil War book at an antique store. If I can find it real quick, I'll show it to you when we're done with this. And I thought maybe Richard Lopez might dig it. It's too much for me. Skip ahead. This is boring. Oh, that was it. That was it. Go back a little bit. That's the close-up. That's the close-up of that picture of what it used to look like. Okay, and now at the end of this, keep playing it. I'm inside Terminal Tower. This is Terminal Tower. And this is what I was saying. They made it to look like a Tartarian architecture, but it's not. It doesn't look quite as authentic, in my opinion. And so I think this was built in the early 1900s. I found a picture of it online of them building it, and whatever that is. That's it. I think we're done. I want to show you Warren, because I think the Warren was more interesting than Cleveland, actually, because I got to spend a little bit more time on Warren. Warren, this one right here. No, get out of here. This isn't it. This isn't it. All right. It's scroll down. Warren art. Okay, that was a school. That was actually the last thing I saw. There's their monument. And now I'm driving around the square. There's the Library of Law. There's the courthouse. There's a close-up of the Library of Law. And man, does that building feel out of place there today. Okay, so I get a side view. I walk up to the building, and how far down do you think it goes?
Mm,
You already know the answer. I mean, that's really low. That doesn't make any sense that they would have steps there. Okay, I'm driving around real quick. My brother actually had an apartment in that Howard's. There's the courthouse. So they built that, I think, in the 1800s. So if that building was big enough for the 1800s to handle all the court issues, our population is so much bigger. Why don't we need a bigger courthouse in Warren to handle all the issues? It doesn't make sense to me. On one side, it's got this huge arch. On the other side, that they don't have an arch there. And over here, there's a little face. What is with that little face? Have you seen that before?
well, I've seen so many faces, so it looks looks like one I've seen before. So it's like very interesting because why do they have symbolism of pagans on every building? If they are so Christian in the 19th century, they were so Christian. Why do they have all this pagan stuff?
Good point. But there's no little face on all the other pillars. Only that little face was only in one spot. And this building has one chimney that I noticed. Also, you see those circular pillars on the top right and left in that shot? Have you ever seen those before? There they are again. What are those? Do they have a name?
Never seen anything like this.
So there's other buildings in that town that have that same thing.
I think it's like how do you call it? Pimp my ride. It's like when you have a renovation of some certain point in 19th century, they pimp your house with decorate with fancy stuff that was not original to create it some different look. But as you can see, it's all inside. It has all those arches and all this stuff on the windows. So it's like definitely they try to fake it out to look it different than it was before. And probably it was reconstructed because you have you said it has something that it doesn't have on the other side, and it's like
And here we go again. How low does it go? Which also, I got an interesting thought on the mud flood. I think it came from the sky. I live on a hill that's 1,085 feet above sea level. You could only dig a foot or two before you hit rock. It's Nelson's Ledges. And by my house, there's a slope in the front. Oh, this building was gorgeous. And it goes, I didn't notice it at the time, but it goes deep right there. Well, I think I might have another shot of it coming up. This was a Methodist church with a dome on it. It didn't make any sense to me at all. But if the mud came from the sky and landed on people's roofs, you would have to shovel it off the roof, and then it would be on the ground, which would really bury the house, is my thought.
well, most of the cities are located on the rivers and in the valleys. So of course you can have some hills and mountains where people can live, and probably you won't find as much mud on those places
Well,
because
yeah,
obviously the mud flood is connected to valleys, not the hills or no mountains, because in those areas we have the slide and it's sliding off the hill or the mountain. So it's like you're right. So it cannot be explained with simply some other activity than the dust from the sky or something like this. So, but we also have the mud volcanoes, and we also have the hills that could be created as a byproducts of previous mining. And you can live on the hill and think that it's a hill, but it's not even a hill because it was like a byproduct of some certain mining in ancient times. At a certain point, if you don't cut the top of your terracone, you will have the eruption of, you possibly have the eruption of some chemical reaction that was inside of this byproduct stack, and you have the eruption of some kind of volcanic activity, or even the mud if you have some drill holes or wells inside of this byproduct stack. So it's
This
it's
is
like,
City Hall, and it's just covered with statues of vegetables all over it. And I don't know. Okay, so here's City Hall and Warren. On the left side of this, I'll get a shot of it in a minute. There's almost no decoration on this other building next to it. It's like they built it years later and they tried to get it to match, but what, did the people that had this skill no longer exist? Did they not pass that trade to somebody else? I got a really weird vibe when I when I walked up here and filmed this. There's a chimney.
it doesn't look original. I mean, the chimney doesn't look original.
Yeah, the way it's patched into the roof is kind of awkward.
Very awkward. It's like what I found in this Galician country house. Also, they didn't have any heating system, and I've asked the official people, saying like, "How did they heat it?" They say, "Oh, they never right here in the winter." So it's like, what? A
Tell me
country
another.
a country house that you cannot even visit in the winter?
That's the house that's across that doesn't have all the direction. Okay, so that one had the chimney on it, but it has a garnish on the chimney, so I don't really know.
Do we have an old photo of this one, or so we can match the chimney?
You know what? I could probably hunt one down or try and find one.
I
My
mean,
brother,
that's why I don't do it like each and every building, because you obviously end up into some getting and researching some older photos. So it's like I try to stick to more obvious and evident signs like uh, doors in the windows, which we have here, obviously, right?
yeah, here, get out of this screen. Let's go back to base camp. Yeah, let's see what Phil's looking like. Well, that's it. I got some other stuff, but that was pretty much the best. Gerard, which is a little bit further than Warren, they have similar architectures, but not quite as elaborate. But yeah, and then there's Youngstown, which I want to check out too, which is a big city over here, and they probably got the same thing again. So
Yeah, it would be nice if you like do it again with the better resolution camera, and
I can do
upload a little slideshow to your channel, so I can promote your link and your channel for other people to catch your information. I think this is a great example of what we have to do to prove or disprove this theory.
Yeah, and everybody that's watching Phil, man, get out there and do it yourself. He's given us the ideas and the thoughts. We all got cameras and cell phones. You're driving by these buildings every day. We're everywhere. Go out there. YouTube's not censoring this as far as I know. And just do it. Get the pictures up. It's the most interesting thing going on right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's like, let me show you a couple more things. Like in what this city they say, it's like we have this strange photo, probably in the 19th century picture, and obviously it doesn't even look like a river here, but they say they're trying to get the river into the sewers so the river won't mess with the all this disease in the city. So it looked very convincing to me, obviously, because we don't have anything suspicious like ancient structures and stuff like this. All this could be made in 19th century, right? But when we look at something like this is quite very precise engineering construction. So it's like you have to make the river actually flow underground and not get stuck here and not flood the local basements of people and different stuff. So just imagine if this can be jammed with some trash or something, or any what if we have like huge tropical rain? Why don't we have it? So it's like you have to manage all this stuff so it can be flowing directly to where it was flowing before. And what they saying here is like the river that gave life to live, because this is the only river that they have, and the city is pretty big one. So, and what they have to do is bury it first, and then cover it into the sewers, as what they say, sewer system. But what doesn't match to this story is that uh, they add here about some guy who was in 1900s the magnificent new grand theater known today as Lviv Theater of Opera and Ballet was opened. So it's like alone after they started to hide the river into the sewers, because that was started in 1870s. So it's like 15 kilometers of river flowing through the main part of the city had been covered. 15 kilometers. And that's where they were building this theater 30 years after it. And local legend says, ah, sorry, there were reports that the building sunk in the years that followed its opening, but finally stabilized.
Oh, thank God. It finally
So like
stabilized.
people like going to this theater for the spectacle or some for a play or something, buying tickets and like sitting there watching the play and sinking sinking at the same time, and building doesn't even crack because it's like impossible for the huge theater to uh, sink in the same rate on each and every square inch that it was founded, right? So it's like unimaginable in modern days construction. I've asked a bunch of construction workers, and they say you cannot like sink the whole building simultaneously. It's like no way. You have your walls cracked and stuff like this, so it's like no way. The whole city, the whole street cannot sink simultaneously, and the whole building, huge building, cannot sink simultaneously without cracks in the wall or foundations. So it's like impossible with the people inside, with the theater working for a couple of years. So it's like all this stuff doesn't add up, and this is where it was built, right above the river that was buried before. So it's like all this story doesn't even add up to my logics. So, and while we have so many interesting information, and like, have you heard about this city in Derwar, Pakistan, which has all those huge circular towers, but the whole construction is square? So it's like very interesting one. Or the Bucharest Palace, which was constructed in the Soviet times of Romania, but actually has undergrounds so huge that we cannot even imagine. So it's like the most hugest administration building in the world right now. So it's like very, or such constructions that go like 30 meters deep in
What are
India.
those things?
It has like 3,500 steps.
Who
And
would build that?
so it's like a whole bunch of different information, and we have to like walk around, go on those official tours, listen to their bullshit and try to debunk it with the simple observation and the simple photographing of all this stuff, all this red brick Tartarian craft, or maybe concrete megalithic blocks that were also produced in ancient times. And like they trying to sell us the theory that the horse crap was all around. That's why people were starting to live in the second floors and creating all those steps to the second floor and living behind the basement floors, which obviously the poor people occupied because somebody had to live there, because we see the apartments still there and some people live in those places. So it's like, but when you go to countryside, you also have the same situation. So there were no huge streets or towns in the country, but just, single houses, single mansions in the fields or forests with the same type of problems, the buried first floors. So it's like, I don't know what to explain, how to explain all this stuff, and how the officials are going to do that, but they still have no decent explanation, I think.
Phil, I'm out of time.
Yeah, very good, because I'm also yeah, it was nice to meet you. So it's
Yeah.
like, let me know if you do, a better photograph
I'll put up
session.
better stuff. Give me some time. I got a couple interesting videos already lined up, but it takes me forever to upload a YouTube video. So